I really needed a shave and a haircut. So I found a barbershop that was open. And of course, that had been part of Germany by that time. And for the young people, of course, were all trained in German. So I got this nice haircut. And the barber was going to shave me with a straight razor. And he was assisted by his daughter, who must have been in her 20s. And of course, I was a GI as far as they were concerned. I didn't speak German. And as he had his straight razor across my throat, she said to him in German, "Why don't you cut his throat?" I scared the hell out of her. I opened my eyes, and I said in German, that was not a very friendly thing to say. I thought she was going to faint. She thought I was going to shoot her. We were attached to the First French Army because they had no tank dozers. And combat engineers had tank dozers. And so we got attached to them.
And those are used for clearing?
Clearing mines mostly, yeah, and obstacles, yeah, right. And so again, there's certain little things that stick in my mind. We had a crazy executive officer in that battalion, Major Spence, whose idea was the way you find mines is to drive into the field. And if there's a mine, and that happened to us. Fortunately, I was in the back of the Jeep, but the Jeep driver got killed, and he got very badly. Major Spence was in the hospital for months after that. He was a nut.
Did he feel like he needed to do that to inspire the men?
I don't think so. I think he was just a nut. But it's interesting, you know, that here the people who are, of course, ignorant in statistics use this thing, the average, as saying this is a good system on the average, you know. And this is very good if you produce nails. And on the average, every 10th nail fails. No problem, right? So for that kind of system, average and medium, perfectly good, you know. And then if you're risk averse, you will say, well, if the average is too high, we have to do something, okay? But when human beings are involved, and particularly their lives, it's a completely ridiculous statement. And you get this, and it was really, again, more obvious to me because I'm risk averse on one hand, and I've been really looking at stabilizing systems, we'll talk about that later on, under the worst allowable conditions, okay? And it's really interesting how you run into this in real life. Yeah.
Well, this is, you know, on one hand, this seems, these conferences that we've been talking about, it seems fairly abstract, and if you go through the monographs and the papers, it's a lot of a lot of mathematics in it, and it can seem fairly abstract, but it does point to very, very critical applications that you have been deeply involved in. And, you know, does a rocket explode, or does a rocket make it to its destination? Does a system, if it fails, does it fail well? Right, these kinds of
the type of catastrophe. You know, it's maybe Chernobyl, and it may be just a very hot room.